All right, Tyler, out of the Paw Patrol, who is your favorite?
I don't know. We don't watch a lot of Paw Patrol,
Man, for me,
so I don't have an answer for you. Sorry.
man, that was like Ellie and Jesse's thing
Yeah,
for like 2 straight years.
yeah, yeah. I bet. Yeah. No, Quinn's really into Sing right now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So she really likes that. Yeah. But like, kind of quick shift gears. I just bought. Who's the little dinosaur in Mario? I'm blanking on his
Yoshi.
name. Yoshi. I bought Yoshi Crafting World for Switch. Like it's yeah, so it's gonna be Quinn's like kind of first introduction to like platform games. I haven't told her yet. I only just bought it yesterday, and so we're gonna play tonight. So gonna be introducing her into like the Mario world and all of that.
Interesting. Okay. Wow, and I didn't know there's also Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah, there's a lot. I was doing some research, and that one seemed to kind of be the best for 5-year-olds.
Okay. Have you seen
Yeah.
Pokopia?
No.
So it's like Pokemon meets almost like Minecraft and Animal Crossing.
Gotcha. That sounds like fun.
It's kind of a dark, like, initial understanding is like you're actually playing as a Ditto who, like, people don't exist anymore, and you morph into like a version that looks kind of like your trainer, but you still have the Ditto face. So it's
It is
kind
a
of
little
sad that like the Ditto wants to be its old Pokemon master.
Yeah, that is a little dark.
But as you build the island up, like new species of Pokemon start returning there, and then it's like, hey, I got to garden, I got to plant stuff, and I got to do these things to attract Pokemon
Yeah,
here. Then it's
that
like
sounds fun.
Pokemon living in Pokemon paradise.
Yeah, I like that. That does
Yeah,
sound fun.
Ellie's gotten a little bit more into playing video games in the last like 6 months. This was her first winter, really,
Yeah,
where it was like, hey, we you can play video games for like 30 minutes a day if it's a non-school day. So she started getting really into like Animal Crossing, and we also we let them start their own files on Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
yeah,
And there's certain
nice.
parts where like I got to kind of help them out a little bit, but they're getting better with it. So we were at Walmart the other day, and Ellie saw the Pokopia like little preview in the video
Yeah,
game section. And she was like, "Oh, can we get this? Can we get this?" And I go, "Well, you have a birthday coming up. Why don't you add that to your birthday list?" And it was like achievement unlocked. You can ask for video
yeah,
games for your
yeah.
birthday.
That's amazing. That's a good life, unlock. Right? We realize that. Yeah,
You could just see the light bulb go off of like, I can ask for this, and
yeah,
grandma or grandpa or mom or dad or someone might get this for me. I was like,
yeah.
okay,
Nice,
okay.
nice.
But then it's like the parent creeps in of like, you're going to be turning 8 years old, and like I like still having the list of like doll accessories and Barbies and Legos, and I don't want to
Yeah,
see
it's
those
just yeah,
lists all shift to video games.
yeah. It's
We're
changing.
we're watching.
Nice.
You just got back from Mexico, man.
Yeah,
Dude, real quick, how was it? How'd the kids enjoy it? How'd you and Steph
yeah.
enjoy it?
It was a great trip. Kids did amazing on the flight. I mean, Quinn's 5. You throw the tablet and snacks in front of her, and she doesn't lift her head up for 5 hours. That was easy. I mean, Riley though, like, didn't fuss once, like on
Mm,
either flight, which was amazing. I mean, she's already like a very just happy girl. Like, really doesn't fuss at all unless like she's hungry or tired. So we kind of expected like probably should be fine, but you never know until you actually fly with like an 8-month old.
yeah.
So that was great. The resort, I mean, it was all inclusive. So that was fun. I mean, tons and tons of pool time. Like, we were probably in the pool by like 8, 9 o'clock every morning. And then, like, literally almost didn't get out of the pool until like 3 every day. It was awesome. There was like a water park for the kids. that had some like slides and like whatnot. So that was kind of a cool addition that like Quinn could go just play on that for like an hour and go down slides. She made a couple of friends there. Yeah, it was an awesome trip. Super relaxing, amazing weather. Go get dinner and then just go walk down to the beach and like watch the sunset and play in the sand a little bit. Go back and just pass out and do it all over again. So yeah, it
Nice.
was it was a ton of fun. And no working out, but I kind of figured for how much I was in the pool, I got plenty of working out in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1000%.
I probably burned a lot.
Right, because like for you're probably like me, right? Where the kids want to play around, you're like swimming, they're holding on to your shoulders, or
Yeah,
in my case, your neck, and
yeah,
asking to be thrown and all that stuff, or
yeah.
playing
Playing
rugby.
tag. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. It's a
So yeah,
movement, and that's more reason why, like, whenever somebody says to me, "Hey, I'm going on vacation. What should I do for my workouts?" It's like, well, first of all, like, where's the feeling of like I need to work out on vacation coming from? Let's think bigger picture here. Like, what's the intention for taking this vacation? Don't get me wrong. If you're like going to Tulum or something and you're going, hey, I want to go to the jungle gym, like, hell yeah, that's on my list
yeah,
too. Like, I want to do
yeah,
that.
totally. Yeah, like I mean, before we had kids, like excuse me, like if we would travel, I would try and find like a cool local gym to go to and just like check it out because you don't get that opportunity maybe very often, and maybe you get to experience some cool equipment or you have a cool experience. Like there was one time we were in Vietnam and like we were just walking around and all of a sudden like there was just kind of like this outdoor gym kind of just like overlooking like the water, and I was like, shit, I gotta get a workout in. Like it wasn't even planned, but it was just like all of a sudden there was this like really cool gym, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get a 45-minute workout in and like just have that cool experience. But I think yeah, with kids, like even if I had wanted to work out, I'm like look back on it, I'm like, where would I have actually had found the time, right? It's just there was none. It was wake up, get a coffee and a pastry, bring it back to the room, hang out, go to breakfast, and then it's pool all day. And I mean by 3 o'clock, 3:30, I'm pretty tired. Like I'm not gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go relax, have another cocktail, watch a little bit of TV, and then we're going for dinner. So, yeah, I mean I think a little bit, context differences too. But yeah, it can be cool to find, depending on where you're at, like a cool local gym.
100%. Because I know there was one of my favorite things about going to Orlando. Gosh, I don't even know if it's still there. It was like Retro Gym,
Yeah,
and it was like all 80s theme.
yeah,
That was a
yeah,
really cool place. They also had, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I call it the leg press tower. You have to like literally climb up almost like a life
yeah. I've seen that.
platform,
Yeah,
and it's basically just a vertical leg press. But
like yeah, the one gym in Vegas had it that we'd always go to when we go to like the Olympia or something. They had something like that. Yeah,
it's it's like use it one time. It's cool to be able to be like, hey, I've used that. But then you
yeah,
also look at it and go, that's the most fucking ridiculous piece of equipment
yeah.
I've
I
ever
always
seen.
loved Powerhouse Tampa, right?
Yeah,
Like kind of like the OG gym that we would go to, like when we first started working for Pro Physique. Like that's such like awesome equipment, right?
it
Like
was
so,
a
yeah,
vibe.
doing some of that kind of stuff is cool.
It was a vibe. I mean, and that's the other thing. Whenever you're on vacation and you visit a place, you're like, yeah, this is a cool vibe. But that vibe can fade pretty quickly because I'll tell you, as someone who worked out at the OG powerhouse,
Yeah,
the fact that the AC didn't work in like 60% of that place got real old real fast. It's like, hey,
yeah,
if I'm here for a week, I don't mind. It's kind of cool. You got some big dudes in here. We're all like lifting some heavy stuff. Like awesome. It's a good energy, good ramp up. I'm trying to remember where it was. We went to it was somewhere in Virginia. Where Nikki and I, like before having kids, we stopped somewhere like on a road trip. We stopped and we found this like combination powerlifting and CrossFit gym, and it was like big warehouse type
yeah,
feel. You walked in, and it was like this is such a cool environment to visit and lift in one time. If I was here in this humidity and this heat from May until September, I
Yeah.
would be pissed. I would have some of the worst workouts possible, but being there
Yeah.
one time, it's kind of cool.
It was fun. Yeah.
But like, okay, one of the biggest things that I find people struggle with, and this is the topic of today's episode, is getting back on track after vacation. So you've been back now for a couple of days. Like,
Yeah.
what's been the hardest part for you? Like getting into a routine with like the nutrition, with the prep,
Yeah.
with lifting, with sleep, with water. Like what have you found has been like the biggest struggle so far?
It just like, I mean, I think just for me in my context, I mean, because I have done it just so many times, like gone, left, didn't train, and then come back, like getting back into the routine isn't necessarily the hardest part. I mean, because it's rare that I take a week off. And so, like, usually by the end of the trip, like, I'm kind of itching to get back to it. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's the hardest part can be maybe the step back and, like, some of the endurance and strength that maybe have lost over the course of the week. And I mean, it's not like nutrition was great, while I was there. And so, like, I'm sure that's part of it too, right? Is you're just not in your normal routine with the nutrition. And so coming back and being okay, like looking at my notebook like the week or two before, and it's like, I'm not doing those numbers this week. That's for sure. And so, kind of getting back into that gradual build. For me, when I'm like on a vacation like that, it's not necessarily a no hold bars, like we're just going, but it's there. And so again, it's like I come back and I play guilty, right? Like there's that adage, like in hockey, if the boys go out for a night, you go out and you're going to play guilty. And usually you have a really good game. And so it's kind of like, all right, like I kind of went to Sodom and Gomorrah for a week, so let's come back and play guilty. So to dial some of those things back in wasn't necessarily hard, but it's just kind of the gradual build kind of back into some of that strength. But I know for a lot of people, the routine is already hard for a lot of people, right? Like just normal daily life, like it can be difficult to have that consistency. And when you kind of maybe get thrown off of that consistency, I don't know what it is, whether it's, oh man, like I kind of missed just kind of that, not the no hold bars, but like enjoying that just kind of free for all lifestyle. It can be really tough mentally to kind of get back into the swing of things. And it can take a couple of weeks to kind of maybe feel like you're back there, right? And you're kind of back into that normal rhythm. And I mean, depending on where you travel, time change, right? Like there's been times where we got back from Europe or Asia, and it's like, up at 3 a.m. It's like, if I had a 24-hour gym, I would just go, right? So yeah, I think it's the just kind of mentally getting back into it, because yeah, you kind of maybe re-enjoyed yourself for a week, and it's like, oh man, that was a lot of fun, and I don't necessarily want to go back to just eating my chicken and in my training and things like that. And
I think
there's just a lot of catch up too on
I
life
think
stuff,
that's
right?
also like where are you at in your journey? Because it's a lot
Totally.
of similar stuff for me at this point. I mean, we've both been doing this for 15 plus years each, and for me, coming back from a vacation, it's the thing that I have a hard time getting back into is similarly like I'm very driven by my own performance. I'm very driven by like what did I do last time, and I need that's now the floor. Last week's ceiling is this week's floor. That's a lot of my default mentality to training. And I look at it and I go, I know that I am not hitting some of these numbers, and I have to be okay with that. So it almost becomes like I don't want to do what I would like what 3 weeks ago Phil would perceive as a shit workout, but you get back into your routines and it's like, okay, it might take me a week or two to get back to those numbers, but so be it. Now, if you're newer into this journey, I often find, and what I hear from a lot of people is the hardest part's getting into the nutrition rhythm. And that's where I like to segment into 5 different categories for what's going to make a successful day. Your nutrition is one aspect, your training, your lifting, that's aspect number 2, your steps, your sleep, and your water intake.
Yeah.
So let's pick two of these things as like minimum to get back into for the first week. And I like to go for low hanging fruit for one of them, which is going to be your water intake. Like you
Chances are you weren't drinking a lot of water. I like, I probably drink, I don't know, 4 to 6 of these 40 ounces a day. I maybe had one a day when we were in Mexico, right? And so,
right.
yeah. And like, I don't know about you, but it's like when I'm like kind of that dehydrated, I'm not thirsty, right? It's this weird thing where it's like, well, I don't want water, but it's like, I know I need to start drinking that water, right? And so, like, we got back late Saturday, and so like that Sunday, it was like, oh man, I know I need to, but I don't want to. Like I'm almost like repulsed by the water.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird.
I saw this online. Somebody was like, cold water and room temp water have two different flavors. And I'm like, they do.
See, like, yeah, like I don't like fridge cold water in the morning. Like I want just from the tap water, right? Because it's not quite as cold. Like I can't handle the cold water first thing in the morning, or even similarly, if I am dehydrated, it's kind of got to be that room temp.
That's why. So, like, the last thing that I do as I'm kind of like closing up the house for the night, the very last thing that I do is I refill my water cup before I leave the kitchen. But I keep the water cup on my nightstand so that it comes up to room temperature overnight. Because I like it's almost the only way I can describe it is like a progression of temperature for my beverages. Because in the morning, I'm like, okay, it's room temperature water. My non negotiable is that I drink 20 ounces, so half of my 40-ounce container before I let myself have my first cup of coffee. So it's like room temp, hot, and then back to room temp.
Yeah,
But
I like that.
for some, kind of back on my track here, water is like low hanging fruit. Let's go for that. Let's just get you hydrated again. Let's get you feeling good. And then let's do something that's going to move the needle and now build off of, and that's get back into some form of nutritional tracking, whether that is, hey, 4 colors out of the rainbow from produce each day
Yeah,
this week,
that,
plus
that was a
30
hard
grams of
one.
like 30 grams of protein
Yeah,
at 3 meals. Cool. You do those two things alone, and you're getting protein, you're getting fiber, you're getting micronutrients, plus you're getting water. Congratulations. Even without hitting like your dedicated calorie goal or your macro goal, you're already the first week back from vacation doing better than 95% of the population does when they're actively trying their best.
yeah, yeah. And it. I think the important thing, kind of, I think taking out of that is like make that mental barrier of entry simple, right? So just kind of like the way you broke it down, it's not like you're coming back and it's like, usually there's no groceries, right? Because you kind of cleared everything out before you left for a week, and there was 7 loads of laundry to do, like on the Sunday that we were home, and then there's no food. Yeah, and so it can kind of feel, and then like we're jumping right back into school and work and everything on the Monday, so it can feel pretty overwhelming as you kind of jump back into real life. But, to then shift that perspective of like, okay, it's just like these two simple things, right? And then, if you work out 5 times a week, hey, maybe you just do 3 that week, right? It's like, hey, you know what? Then you can, again, like you can kind of have this gradual ramp up, because if you take it from someone like you and I, where missing a week is pretty rare. I mean, by week 2, chances are you're right back to kind of where things were at, if not like week 3, right? And then it's like, all right, like you never really necessarily skipped a beat. And so that ramp up, if you can kind of create that easy barrier of entry that first week, it's gonna happen fairly quick.
Yeah, like my system goes week one again. We're going with 2 out of my 5 like components. Pick 2 of them to focus on this week. Let's have like a stretch goal of a third one that by the end of the week we start getting it figured out. Which for me, I like that one to be sleep. So like if by the end of week one, again, we're drinking our water, we're getting some type of a nutritional boundary set, plus we're getting sleep, awesome. Week 2 is just expanding on keep this here. So again, last week's ceiling becomes this week's floor. Cool. We're still drinking our water. Now sleep is getting better. We're probably back into a routine and rhythm, even if we traveled and our body clock had to adjust for time zone differences. Now sleep is there. You've got these two things almost automatically. Well, now let's start with hitting like a calorie and protein goal, or let's start hitting our full macros. And let's have the goal be just all solid days this week. Like you just came back from vacation, probably realistically, probably trying to take a little bit of water weight off from the
Yeah.
vacation.
Well,
Do we
that's yeah,
really need to have some extravagant untracked meal
yeah,
or higher calorie day? Probably not.
yeah.
So
And I mean, sorry, go ahead.
let's build towards that. So now we're sitting at the end of week 2, and it's like, hey, stretch goal this week. Let's try to get a couple of lifting sessions in. You're probably organically getting more active. By the end of that third week from a vacation, that is my goal for everyone is we're hitting on
Yeah,
all 5 of these, or at least 4 out of 5 consistently by the end of like week 3.
yeah. And I think that's one other thing to kind of pull out from that is I'll usually recommend like don't step on the scale for like the first 3 to 4 days after a vacation because I mean, as much as we work on it with clients to like let's not be fixated on the scale. Like so many people, like you're gonna come back, probably a few pounds up, right? And so, to do that, and then like a lot of times, then they feel guilty about that vacation, right? And it's like, man, we don't like we're already getting slapped in the face of real life after a vacation, right? Like that transition is it's just so quick. Like 4 days later, like
Laundry, work, yard.
did I even go on vacation, right? Like that even happened seems like a million years ago. And so then to like throw that extra guilt onto it, like I just don't think is necessary. And like there's gonna be water weight, there's gonna be some of that, and so it's just kind of an unnecessary thing where yeah, like we don't need to do that, right? And so I find that's one thing a lot of people tend to struggle with. I mean, at this point in my journey, it doesn't bother me as much, and so I'm more so like just curious. I'm like, I'm like. And like I ended up being the same weight essentially, and I'm like, yeah, well that pool time paid off, right? So that's one other thing that people they struggle with, or I look a little softer, or this and that, and yeah, that's one I usually recommend is don't step on the scale for a few days.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to and it doesn't bother you, then whatever. But yeah, if you're someone that you just know kind of fluctuations can tend to just bug you a little bit, then just don't even bother.
Right. If I'm talking to someone and they're like, "Hey, I know it's water weight. I just want it as a data point to compare in a week to see like how much water has come off." Okay, cool. That's healthy. You already understand if it's different stepping on the scale coming back from vacation. You already understand why it's different. People naturally worry that all the weight that was shown on the scale is body fat gain, and it's like, "Hey, logically speaking, 500 calories over maintenance needs to make a pound of body fat." So let's say your maintenance needs was 2,500 calories. Did you eat 6,000 calories a day? Like if you
That's
were gone for a week, that's let's say you were on a 5-day vacation. So we'd have to double that number to see 10 pounds of. So did you eat 12,000 calories a day? Like I
yeah,
don't think you did
that's
that for 5 days.
No, that's like that's a lot, right? Like that's so much food. I remember like when the 10,000 calorie challenge was like a popular thing to do, right? And you'd see people do it, and man, to do that, like you got to make yourself sick. Like it's that's hard.
I remember seeing that and people were like, "Oh, for $1 million, would you do it?" And I'm like, For
Yeah,
for a million? Yeah. And I already have the cheat code for it.
I do it for 500,000. Do it for a quarter of a
Yeah,
million.
like shit, I think I'd do it for 10 grand.
Yeah, yeah. In this economy,
So
what's your cheat code?
extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just do it a lot in your cooking,
Well, no,
but
no,
I
not,
could
not
take shots of it. No,
see, because I've done that. I've done that. I've just taken a shot of EVO before. Don't get me wrong, it's not glorious by any means,
yeah,
but when we talk
it would
about
get
the calorie
oh.
density, so
Your
how many
digestion would
ounces
be
of
just you'd be pooping for days.
So I'm trying to remember. I did the conversion at one point, and I think it was something to the effect of, yeah, like 40 ounce.
Okay, so just one of these.
Yeah,
Just
like,
throw it in. Yeah, just fill this baby up, and
yeah,
it's like drink. It's like drinking my when I did my colonoscopy, the fluid you got to drink for that.
look, do I want to do it? No, but if we're
No,
talking about volume of food, yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm going for. I'm taking the
yeah,
extra virgin olive
I
oil
like that.
all day long. Let me just chug that some bitch.
That's funny. But I think I think the main thing, and I think this is kind of for us like a pretty common theme for like when we talk about things like this is like don't sweat it too much, right? Like you're gonna be fine as long as you kind of focus on a couple of things and like you just kind of go through that 2 to 3 week ramp up. Like again, it's like that 4 days after of like, did I even go on vacation? It's gonna be that same idea of like 3 weeks later. It's like, okay, like did I even go on vacation in terms of like my weightlifting, my body composition, all of those kinds of things. And so like it's again just get back to it, focus on some of those small things, and you're gonna be right back into the swing of things before you even.
And I always want people to keep something else in mind. So I love doing this exercise with people. Imagine that you're 95 years old, you're on your deathbed, and you're given the opportunity. Hey, yes or no? Do you want to go back to whatever date the day is? Like, hey, do you want to go back to April 3rd, 2026? From 95 years old, I undo all my wrinkles, all my aches and pains, and I get to relive all of my life and all of my memories and everything. Absolutely. Like, okay, open your eyes. Congratulations, wish granted. Now, what do you do with it? Do you sit there and really at 95 go, well, no, I came back from that vacation in 2026 and I was 5 pounds over where I left. So I don't want to go back to that. I'll take being at the end of the line here.
Yeah,
Like, is it really that bad? You made a
yeah,
memory, you got to experience some cool stuff. Like, unless you just had the absolute worst possible vacation ever.
yeah,
Like, man, I lost both my legs, I lost both
yeah. Then
my
maybe you would
arms.
do it differently.
Like,
Yeah,
okay, maybe we're not, but
yeah,
like, hey, you went, especially like if you've got a family, you got to see your kids at an age where they were able to experience some magic or they were able to just go and be a lot of fun, and you're going to want those days back. So do you really give a shit that you're 5 pounds up from where you left? I'll take the vacation, I'll take the post vacation fluff every time, because whenever you stick with a clear roadmap of what are my objectives for the end of week 1, week 2, week 3 to get back to my habits, and you know that it might take you 2 or 3 weeks to get it off,
yeah,
but it's going to come off. That's
yeah,
well worth it, and that's part of set your expectations before you even go on the vacation. Set your expectations for, you know what, I'm going to go. I know I'm probably going to struggle with my water. I'm probably going to have few extra adult beverages. I'm probably going to have a couple of steaks. I'm going to eat some food that's not very nutrient friendly. It's very calorie dense stuff. I know I'm going to do that, but I also know I'm not going to eat 12,000 calories a day. I
yeah,
know I'm not going to, come back and continue eating 12,000 calories or 5,000 calories a day. Like, I'm going to come back and want some of my old habits back because I'm going to feel better. And I find this also helps to ground people back to their why, right? Of,
hmm,
okay, well, why do I want to work out? So that I have more muscle, and sure, there's an aesthetic component to it, but there's also a quality of life component to it. I feel better whenever I work out. I don't mind taking a week off like once or twice a year, but if I go more than 2 weeks without working out and it's not because I'm injured, I start
yeah,
feeling it. Like,
yeah,
I can actively tell, like, man, I feel like crap. I'm grouchy. I'm starting to find like, man, my back starts to stiffen up a little bit. My knees aren't quite as strong versus lifting. So I like that. Whenever I hit my protein, I'm not starving all day long. I like that I'm not eating a bunch of junk food because I'm just not quite as hungry. I like that. Oh, whenever I drink water, my skin is healthier. I have a little less like like dry patches of skin, whatever benefits you find, like connect deep to the why so that you want to get back into those things once you're back from vacation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I mean, let me tell you, there's not a lot of fit people out there. It's like when I was, you're at the resort and you're like, man, I know, like there was maybe one or two other people. You're like, yeah, you lift and take care of yourself. But other than that, yeah, there's not much out there. And I mean, too, for us, like with the resort food, it was 50-50, and like, but it was great. Like it was buffet in the morning, and they had an omelet bar. So you know what? I would get a 4 egg omelet every morning, and then just a bunch of fruit, and that was it. Lunch, all they had was like a snack shack, and it was burgers, and so I'd get a double burger every day with some chips. And then dinner was a buffet, and again, like it was usually like some type of chicken option. Again, more fruit, salad, things like that. And so like again, depending on where you're going, most places like that, there's gonna be, your quote unquote healthy options. And so like you can still kind of manage it, right? Like you still don't have to go crazy. I mean, sure, get a few extra pancakes if you want, things like that. But like, for the most part, like I was probably eating, not drinking, eating under like my maintenance calories, right? And like there were some nights where like the food just wasn't good. I didn't even eat dinner. I just kind of skipped it. Like I maybe grabbed a couple pieces of chicken and like that was it, and I was okay with that. So, it can still be quite manageable depending on kind of what's available to you.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of what's going to help you get back on track is before you even leave on vacation. Like, what's your expectations? How are you with your habits going into it? Whenever you're on vacation, what are like some guardrails you're setting for yourself? Because I love doing that too. I go with several, I've got several different things. I'll be like, hey, for this vacation, I'm going to have this as a goal, this as the guideline. So yeah, I might say, hey, 2 meals a day. I'm just going to eat like I'm on vacation. I'm not worried about what it is, but I'm going to have one meal that looks pretty similar to what I would normally eat, which, like you said, hey, I'm there. I see there's a chicken option. There's some potatoes, some wild rice, like whatever.
There was Yeah, there was roasted potatoes with every buffet, so I was like got a couple of those. Like, yeah, you could still make it fairly, like you said, like kind of like at home.
Yeah. So I love just having some of those in place. And again, just being being mindful going into it, having some type of a guardrail of I'm going to stay in this broad lane. It's like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer makes the lanes extra wide. That's what I like to do for vacation. Like, give me an extra wide lane. Like, hey, I'm going to enjoy some cocktails, but I'm not going to enjoy more than four. Or I'm not going, on a given day, like I'm not going to have more than four. Or, hey, I'm going to make sure that I'm drinking water in between any of my drinks. Or, hey, for dinner, I'm going to pick appetizer or dessert, but not both. Like something along those lines. Like pick some guardrails so that whenever you're back, it's like, okay, I enjoyed myself. I want to feel like my normal self. Let's roll.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, kind of like I alluded to earlier, sometimes it's good to come back, and feel a little guilty and use that as like some motivation. And I don't mean like the
Yeah.
guilty as in like you're beating yourself up. You're like, okay, yeah, I enjoyed myself, but I'm gonna kind of now use that as like some of that motivation that first week to just, hey, let's dial it back in and let's get after it.
Yeah. Well, that's all I wanted to add for this one. What do you think? You want to do another random Pokemon rank?
Sure. Are
All
we
right.
gonna do like an evolution again though?
Ooh, that was fun. So what I found is this is instead of asking ChatGPT, I found it's spin the wheel. It's a spin the wheel app. It's got all 151. I'm just gonna hit spin and we're gonna
Okay,
blind rank.
not Lapras again.
Metapod. That's a five.
That's a five.
That's a five. That's
I
a
hated when you're trying to grind early in the game too to like get like level up your Pokemon in like Viridian Forest, right? It's the worst.
yeah, because they pop up and it's like it's just gonna keep
Harden,
getting harder,
harden.
harden, and like my attack does less and less and less, but I want
Yeah,
the experience points.
yeah.
Ah, all right.
That's a
Next
five.
spin. Next
Because
spin.
even Yeah, because even Beedrill kind of sucks.
Yeah, like I feel like Butterfree is so underrated. You
Better,
get
yeah.
you get
It's the
all the
better of the
benefits
two.
of the status moves of like paralyze, sleep powder, poison powder. You get all those benefits. Plus, you can use psychic
Yeah,
moves. Like,
yeah. I'd
yeah,
always use that for Brock against Onyx.
in Pokemon Yellow, like you had to. That was your
Yeah,
only shot of
yeah,
getting through, unless
yeah,
you got a Mankey from the little side
yeah,
area. And it was like
yeah,
you need to learn low kick as fast as possible,
yeah.
brother. All right, next spin yielded Lickitung.
Lickitung. Oh man, I don't think I ever used a Lickitung, so I think I'll just go four.
Yeah, honestly, they're pretty terrible, but I get why Jesse from the cartoon series wanted Lickitung.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. All right, next up, the spin yielded Cloyster.
I mean, again, one I never used, but I think you can teach it like Ice Beam, and like it can be like a pretty powerful one. I mean, I'll go three just again because I've never really used it. I'm hopefully not going to get screwed with my one and two.
So what I liked about Cloyster, I actually did have a couple of runs where that was like my water one because it also gave the benefit of ice. What I loved about it is that it's a really strong defensive one. So like it's kind of a bit of a
Right.
tank and it's got good
Yeah.
special. Just for the
So
sake of changing it up. Honestly, I would pick 3-2, but just for the sake of changing it up, I'm gonna go two.
yeah, I think it's a good one.
All right, so I've got 1 and 3, you've got 1 and 2. And the next one, ooh, is
Oh no.
Goldeen.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna hopefully leave my one, so I'm just gonna go two there.
Remember on Super Remember
That's
Super
running.
Smash Brothers? There was like the one useless Pokeball that'd be Goldeen, and it would just be Goldeen flopping around on the screen, and
Yes.
nothing
Yeah.
happened.
Goldie. Yeah.
Goldeen, Goldeen.
Uh,
Like, you didn't even use Magikarp. Like you picked
yeah.
Goldeen.
Right.
Come on. The last one coming in is Gloom. I don't love this one as my one, but it's what I have to default to.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I would probably go my like Cloister one, drop Goldeen to three, and then go Gloom two. But yeah, I mean, just for the sake of this, like we'll have to go one.
I remember watching an episode like fairly like in the original run, right? And whenever I saw Gloom, I was like, "What the hell is that thing?" And my dad
Yeah,
walks in and goes, "Is that thing supposed to be high?
right. yeah,
Like
it
it's
looked like
floating out
it.
of the corner of its mouth, eyes are
Yeah,
red." It's like, dude, somebody got inspired to make
yeah.
this one. All right, well, thank you all for joining us for another episode. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And look, if you've ever come back from vacation and felt like, man, I'm just drowning and I don't know where to start, go ahead and head over to fitbodinstitute.com, book a free metabolic assessment, and let's have you get some progress towards your goals. Let's build some foundations. Let's level you up. Have a good one.